Hello, word nerds. Happy Sunday and welcome to our June write-in. Sorry for the delay. We're all a little frazzled and all over the place, and technology, as usual, is out to get us. But we made it and we're here to write some words. So this is going to be an excellent evening. If you haven't joined us for one of these before, we do a series of group word sprints where we'll write for 20 minutes and then check back in and let everyone know how it went. So to kick things off, we're just going to share a little bit about what we are working on. Desiree, you're first.
Oh, okay. Tonight I'm not going to be writing too much. I'm actually going to be re-outlining my Act 3. I think one of the reasons it's taking so long is that it's wrong. So I'm going to try to fix it.
Nice.
Good stuff. And Erin?
I'm working on the final line edit for Witch's Ash and Ruin. So that's exciting.
And Emma?
I'm just doing some more drafting, so I feel like I'm finally making a little bit of progress, so that's good.
And Megan?
Revisions, again. I feel like progress has halted, so this is the nice flip side of Emma.
Progress has been halted for months, so.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be writing the next chapter in a short story I've been working on because I'm trying to get it done by Wednesday, but that's feeling a little less possible. But we'll see.
You can do it.
So let us know in the discussion section what all of you are going to be working on. I guess we've got a few minutes before jumping into our first one.
Yeah, let's jump in at the 50.
Perfect. We're running a little bit behind, so we'll just full speed ahead.
Yeah, since I am moving soon, I currently live like half an hour from my mother-in-law, which has been great because she loves that grandbaby time. But now we are moving about 4 hours away from her, and it's like we are taking him to the other side of the earth. And so we were there with him saying goodbye before we move, and it was like, I'm never gonna see you again, except for like 3 weeks from now when I'm gonna see you again. Yeah, it has been really nice living so close. So I will miss living that close.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of new things, Kelly has made some great renovation themed prompts for our sprints today.
This is inspired by Megan's moving themed prompts in our, is it Friday we had a write-in? I don't know. Time.
Friday. Yeah, Friday.
We did a weekday write-in on Friday, and Megan had some great moving prompts. So I decided because this house is all renovations, we'd jump in with that. So our first prompt, which you don't have to use, if it inspires you, great. If not, no worries, is going to be destruction. Have a character rip apart something in their lives, an object, a relationship, a plan. So do with it what you will.
A person.
I use this. Yes, a person.
Wow.
And I am putting all this info in the discussion section as well, in case you missed that. We've got 1 minute until we start writing. And it's a 20-minute sprint.
I'm not feeling a little bit organized, even though we started 15 minutes late. I should have taken that time and gotten it done.
Yeah. I'm like the first sprint to make tea.
I feel like I'm not gonna be able to focus because my desk is a mess right now. I have stacks of graphic novels for one of my classes, and just it's not a very big desk to begin with, and now I'm there's no room.
Just wipe it all onto the floor.
I was gonna say exciting. That works too.
Yes. All right, and with that, it is time. So we will check back in at the 20. Until then, write. And the prompt, or check in at the 10. I said that right, not 20. Okay. And then the prompt is destruction. Have a character rip apart something in their lives, an object, a relationship, a plan, a person. Good luck. in time.
How'd everybody do?
Got 42. And tea.
I got 243.
Nice.
571.
Nice.
I looked at Twitter, so
I got like 11 words, but I was setting up my my spreadsheet because I'm copying Emma. I actually watched the video during the sprint, so I could like make sure I was doing everything right.
I like how everyone's just copying it.
Yeah.
I like it. Thank you.
it's a great idea.
Yes. We should make like a downloadable one for people. Like here's a blank one, like with my book skeleton one.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I used Megan's your book skeleton one as an example of how to set mine up, pretty much.
I love that one. I don't love it for outlining because for me personally, it's a little bit too much, but I love it for revisions.
Yeah, mine. I'm using it for revisions right now.
Yeah, I always inevitably find that I've injured all of these characters, and then they're instantly no longer injured, and like it's all this random stuff.
My main character gets injured at the beginning of the book, like it's part of like the catalyst of the story, and then I like mention it like sporadically. I'm like, wait, what is the healing time of this injury? Like, is she in a sling? I don't know.
Then it's hard because they're like, could you do these things?
Yeah, she needs to still be able to do things. Yeah. I know I literally had to spend a lot of time at the beginning being like, just how injured can she get? And still be able to like take part in the rest of like the story.
Yeah. I think it was Jenna Morisi who did a thing on this recently in her like annoying hero tropes where she's like, and then they get shot with an arrow and they're just fine. Fine. Go on this quest, I'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm not physically or emotionally damaged by
Bleeding out a little bit, but no biggie.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yes, exactly.
In the discussion section, we've got Sid got 341, Lizzie 469, and Brand 67. We also had a question from Amber. Does anyone know a good internet lock app I can put on my laptop? Because I will sit down to write and then get distracted by Facebook and so on.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey?
Yeah, there's a Chrome extension for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah,
too.
I think I've used it for like as a desktop download, and it like fully lets me like block video games and like you can't even open certain programs. I haven't used it in a while, but I think it was cold turkey.
Same. It's a good app, like if you actually use it. Like my problem is like I don't ever use it anymore. So
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that to myself?
Yeah, and I'd start like I'd figured out how to undo it. So I was like a toddler getting past like the internet locks and whatever, but
Yeah, it's like that time my dog learned to open the treat box.
I like Forest on the Chrome app as well, where you like plant a little tree at the beginning of a session, which won't let you go to certain websites. And then if you try to go to those websites, it's all like, do you want to kill your tree? And I really don't. Like that means more to me than
I didn't know there was a computer one for that. I know they have it for the phone. I had it on my phone.
I think it was someone in the comments told me it was a Chrome extension as well. And like you sync it with your phone account, whatever, so it's all the same little forest.
Cute. We've also got Andrew Walker got 168, Alex 100, Vanessa 219. We've got a second for cold turkey from Helen. And just as a by the way, I put the names of both of those in the discussion section in case you missed them, so that you can Google them if you would like.
To whoever actually recommended Forest the first time. In my heart, you are the true recommender. I just don't remember who you were.
So we could start right now or move again. We do have another question we can answer if we wanted to wait until the 20th.
Let's do the question. I'm feeling frazzled.
Yes, same. So we will start our next sprint at the 20. We've got a question from Mariana. Do you guys have tips for first revisions? I'm reading through my draft for the first time since I wrote it, and I'm feeling pretty intimidated.
Good question.
It's totally normal to feel intimidated, first of all. I have never read a draft to begin revisions and not felt like, what have I gotten myself into?
I'd say if you're feeling really intimidated, something you could do is like pick one thing to focus on, like a certain character or a certain plot arc that really needs to be fixed, and just focus on like fixing that one thing first. Because I know what intimidates me is being like, there are all these different things that I need to fix and not knowing where to start and what to do. So focusing on one thing helps.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, I'll keep a notebook that has like big picture problems and smaller picture problems. And as I'm reading something, I'll be like, oh, this dumb thing, I need to fix it. But I don't want to take the time right now because I'm doing a read through. And so I'll write like, the character's eye color is inconsistent, and that goes in the small picture problems. And then there are also things as I'm reading where I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and I don't know what to do about that. So I just write down in big picture, character's motivation doesn't make sense. And then once I've read through the whole thing, then I sit down and say like, okay, how do I solve each of these things just one at a time? And I don't think about the dominoes until I have like figured out the basic starting points for each problem.
I think also another good thing, it can be intimidating if you've just finished it and you're starting to revise it already. Like I always give myself a bit of room to breathe, let it sit there for a while, and then I just print out the whole manuscript and read the whole thing over. And then jot down first impressions all in like a giant sloppy list. And then I will separate it afterwards. And it feels like a little, one little step at a time.
So. For sure. Oh, and if it's a lot of things, which sometimes it is, I like to divvy up the problems into plot, character, and world. And I usually start with character problems because I find as I'm working to fix those affect the plot a lot more than plot would affect character. In my own personal stories, your mileage may vary. And so I'll like work through just the character problems first, and then just the plot, and then just the world. And then afterwards I can read through it again and see if it all makes sense together. So we've got 2 minutes until our next sprint starts. Feel free to let us know any of your writing struggles in the discussion section, and we can talk about those as well. Or if there's just any other bookish questions, writing questions you have, we would love to answer those too. What is our next prompt going to be?
For our next prompt, we are getting into repurposing. Take something worn out and find a new way to use it. So that could be something literal that your character's using or doing, or taking like an old trope and finding a way to spin it on its head.
Yes. I will put that in the discussion section as well as we are getting started. Again, this will be a 20-minute sprint. And so check-in will be at the 40.
10 more seconds.
I'll be providing some like rainy mood for everyone because it's pouring outside right now.
I'm feeling robbed. It was supposed to be pouring and it's sunny outside. How am I supposed to feel?
Your life is so challenging.
How dare.
It's like poured raining like the last 3 days in a row.
Yeah, it was pouring yesterday, so I guess
a significant part of the day.
Yeah. And time?
Let's go.
Let's do this thing.
Time?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Math real quick.
It's about the same as the last one, around 250.
I got 773.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
dang.
I was really trying to hit 800, but we were on time.
Hence the frantic typing. I've got
Yes.
like 53 words left on this monster, and I just want to finish the sentence. But it'll make it that much easier to jump back into the next one. Okay.
We had an interesting question from Andrew in the discussion section that came in right as we were starting the sprint. It was curious, what is your record for the fastest round of revisions? Mine was probably when I was in Pitch Wars. So that was like a month and a half where we did like massive overhauls very quickly. I don't think I've ever revised a book faster than that, or had a book come out as good after revisions, but that was not the speed that caused it.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I'm not
think.
sure.
It's usually long. Like if I'm revising, it can be shorter, like a month maybe. But if I'm going through like copy edits and line edits and developmental edits, there's like sometimes 2 rounds of developmental edits, and then there's 2 more rounds of other edits after that. So it's never short.
I feel like the thing I run into with revisions is usually that the act of revising might only add up to be about a month every time, but I need varying chunks of time to just like stop and think about things. It's like I'm only writing in a document for about the same amount of time, but certain problems need more time to figure out how to fix them than others.
That's fair.
We've got Lizzie got 637, Melissa 106, Bran 500, Andrew 300, Alex 84, Amber 353. Great job, guys.
Very nice.
Should we move into the next one in 2 minutes?
Let's do it.
Did you guys want to do the full 20 minutes, or since we started late, do you want to do like a 15-minute one? How are you guys feeling?
15.
All right, our last sprint will be 15 minutes, so it'll go from the 45 to the hour. And we have a prompt for this one as well.
Yes, the final prompt of the evening is renewal. It's time for your character to rebuild something even better from the rubble of what they had before.
Ooh, I like it. These are good prompts. And again, just get any last minute, if there's anything writing or reading related that you wanted us to talk about, definitely get that in the discussion section now, and we will be sure to talk about it before we go off air. We've got like what, 1 minute before it's time.
And try not to be too loud because there's a very angry baby in the next room. He's so unhappy.
So mad.
Yes.
I've got the volume turned up really loud, so I couldn't hear my child if he was very mad. All right, so it's time.
Mhm.
Let's do this. 15 minutes. Oh. Time.
How'd the last sprint go for everybody?
Much better.
Yay!
I got 380, so not terrible. I'm like 2 sentences away from finishing this chapter.
Nice. It was like 15 minutes shorter, and I still got the same word count.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, a lot of times I find that like the shorter sprints kind of force me to buckle down, so then I end up doing similarly well.
You're not like, I'm just gonna check Twitter because I have 20.
I have 20 minutes, so why wouldn't I?
I also feel like somehow with the 20-minute sprints, I always end up like defeating whatever monster I'm fighting in For the Words and have like a few minutes left. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to start another monster, but like 15 minutes, like I still have like 50 words left in the monster I'm fighting. So.
See, this time I'm supposed to be fighting this like 5,000 word monster, but they give you like 3 days to do it. So it's kind of like, it doesn't matter how much I write. I'm not going to beat this monster in this chat. We've got in the discussion section, Melissa got 194, Brian 420, and Lizzie 455. Good job, everyone. Let us know how you did in the discussion section as we are chatting as we wrap things up.
Yeah, I'm just flipping through For the Words and seeing what monsters you guys are fighting.
I jumped really far ahead the last time I was doing revisions because I was like redoing a ton, but also copying and pasting a ton. So it artificially boosted my word count and I beat a bunch of monsters. So now I'm like this 5,000 word monster away from the floating city of balance.
I like have not made any progress with like the main storyline in forever because like I need to do like a 1,400 word one or something, and I just like haven't had any period of time where I've been able to write a lot of words in one day. You know, it's been a lot of like days of just like 500 words, so
yeah,
in like little increments of time, and I need like a full like 2 hours to beat that one. So
yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of days of just like the base 444 and just get my check mark, move on.
To wrap it up.
Alrighty.
What are we talking about next week?
Is that Desiree's Pride chat?
Yes, it is.
Yes. We're going to be talking about LGBT reads.
Super exciting.
Join us. It's going to be great.
So many titles to talk about.
Yes.
Oh, Andrew says between Friday's write-in and tonight he has 3,000 words. Very, very nice.
Hey.
Happy to help. Thank you all for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. I hope it was productive for everybody. As I said, we'll be back next week for our LGBTQ reads general shenanigans chat. And of course, we'll have videos on Tuesday and Thursday as usual. And I guess we will see you all next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Subscribe to us.